Hello, my name is Dobie Moser, and I have the privilege of leading our Saint Ambrose Mental Health Ministry. Today we're going to look briefly at how we think about and speak about mental illness. So mental illness, like physical illness, is not the result of a character flaw, a moral failing, or a lack of faith. And while we can all acknowledge we have good days, we have bad days, there's a certain amount of anxiety and depression that are part of our human condition. Yet anxieties and clinical depression are significantly different. It is similar, for instance, to the difference between if any one of us has a bruise on our arm or a scratch versus having a broken arm. The response based on that distinction, those differences, is significant. And if you stay with that analogy, we'd never say to a person with a broken arm, come on, it's not that hard. Why can't you get over it? How badly does it really hurt? Well, it's easy for me to say when it's your arm that's broken. And saying such things would rightly be seen by others as hurtful and stupid. Yet sometimes with mental illness, including anxiety disorders and clinical depression, people with good intentions will say, come on, you could just push through it. Change your attitude. It's not that bad. Get over it. So what is common in these examples is they're really not about the person with mental illness. They're about others that are projecting their experience onto that person with mental illness. So the first change or challenge in that would be to change our perspective to that of the person with mental illness. And when we make that shift of gears, it allows us to be present. It allows us to accompany them. It allows us to learn about their experience from them. We all know that phrase of, I know what you're going through. Well, it's a good phrase to throw out. We don't know what another person's going through, and taking the time to listen from their perspective is one way, not the only way, but one way that we can understand and know more about what they are going through. So those simplistic answers of just get over it, be assured that if people with mental illness could just get over it, they would. They do not want the illness. They wish they did not have the illness. And if it were just the idea of get over it, they would. That would be behind them. And what that can teach us is that the power of the illness itself is much more intense and affecting them than any one of us might realize as the person who does not have that illness. So I'm giving examples of what it's helpful to know not to do, so we don't say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, when a friend or a family member has mental illness. Well, to know what not to do does not help us always know what to do. So I would like to offer 3 specific ideas of what to say and what to do when a loved one, whether it's a friend, a family member, a colleague, has mental illness. The first thing would be acknowledge their struggle and validate the pain of their illness without saying that we know what they're going through. Literally, them knowing that you respect and value their experience, whatever it is, without judging it, is actually a wonderful gift and one that we don't want to take for granted. So denying or ignoring somebody's mental illness when you've been made aware of it literally can make people feel unseen, unheard, not valued, and we would never want to do that. And being with them while knowing of their illness, because they've allowed you to know that, is actually a way to show kindness and compassion. And the way we might want to think about that is, it would be the way we would accompany anybody who is suffering. If somebody had that broken arm or they couldn't get around because of a broken leg, well, we would just naturally respond with kindness and compassion. Well, mental illness is on the inside. You can't always see it, but we can still respond with kindness and compassion. Secondly would be this. We want to make sure we see people as a whole person. Every person has dignity, and their illness does not define fully who they are. No one of us is fully defined by our best quality, our worst quality, the struggle that we have, or frankly, even our greatest achievement. So the idea would be see others as a whole person, see them as having dignity. Just because they're made in God's image and likeness, that is enough. And it allows us, frankly, to continue to grow in our friendship with them. And then the third would be loving families, loving and healthy organizations. Find a way to have conversations about things that matter. So an important thing we can do on the positive end is make it a safe environment where people can talk about mental illness if they need to do that. That if the topic comes up, we don't quickly change the subject. We don't act like it's awkward and, oh my gosh, what did she or he say? The point would be we can make our relationships, and I would actually say in an important way, our families, and in Saint Ambrose's case, our parish community, a place where we can say what we think and feel regarding things that matter. And in this case, to have open conversations about mental illness. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to hide. It's not something we've never thought of. We know it's there. It's there for a lot of people. And how can we have an environment that is open and caring so that people feel safe to name and acknowledge and articulate what it is they're experiencing? I know and I'm aware, I've facilitated those conversations. They can be difficult. They can be awkward. But I would actually pose that not having those conversations and have people that are going through mental illness and suffering alone is by far more painful and more awkward. One of the things that is just many people, myself included, love about Saint Ambrose is everybody belongs here. It's not a you belong if, or you don't belong because, and then however you might follow that. We want people with mental illness to know this is their place. They belong here, they're part of who we are. And we want to embody that by making it a safe place to talk about it so that we can learn and grow together. I would like to close with a closing prayer. May the Lord bless all those in need in mind, body, or spirit. Lord, hear our prayers and grant what we seek in your time and in your way. And until then, hold us tenderly in your arms of love. Amen.